Hello, By Grace family. It's Pastor Kevin here, and I can't wait for my next announcement. Are you ready? We are going to have a drive-in time of musical worship. That's right. We are going to be able to assemble as a church, pack ourselves in our cars, drive to our church parking lot, and worship the Lord together from the safe place of our cars parked with one another. And if all goes to plan, we will be led in worship by our very own Jeremy Haywood and Shirley Emerson. So I am excited for this opportunity. So, a couple of pieces of information. Number one, our time of worship will be less than an hour, which I know is not enough, but it's better than not being able to meet together at all. The start time is going to be 4 o'clock. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be meeting in our church parking lot. If you're not sure where that is, it's 2831 Denby Boulevard in Yorktown, Virginia, 23692. And when you're driving in, I do ask that everyone would look for the parking attendant. There is a very strong likelihood that he's going to look a lot like this guy, running around crazy, waving at all the kiddos. Kids, are you allowed to wave? Yes. There should be a lot of waving to each other. We miss each other. We love each other. It'll be great to see one another from the safe location of our cars. So, I will be giving people directions. I'll tell you what radio station to tune into. We'll also be running around saying hey to everybody through the glass of our cars. And I do have to warn that our building is off limits. The only exception to that is, of course, the people who are leading us in worship or facilitating that happening. So we do have to have strict adherence to the limit of 10 people in our whole facility. So it doesn't matter 10 people per room. Nope, that's not the rule. The rule is 10 people in our whole facility. And so we'll be watching the door and counting and making sure. But ultimately, parents, it is best for you to plan to not have access to the building on any level whatsoever. In the case of emergency, and we know what an emergency is, don't we, folks? We know what an emergency is. And that means we know what an emergency isn't. So, emergency bathroom use only, and even though we have to adhere to the strict limit of 10 total in the building, including Shirley and Jeremy or me or whoever else needs to be in there. So I have 2 rules for us. Are you ready? Kids, pay attention. You need to know these rules. Are you ready? Rule number 1. It's 4 words. Stay in your car. That's right. Hey, good guess. Stay in your car. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2. Always obey rule number 1. And what was rule number 1? You say it this time. Good job. Really good job. Parents, do we need you to repeat it? No, I'm not going to do that to you. So we have to stay in our cars, and we're going to park where the parking attendants tell us to park, and we will inform you as to what radio station to tune to. We will all tune to the same radio station, and we will hear the worship that Jeremy and Shirley are leading us into. And bonus, extra bonus, if we are unable or don't think it's a wise idea, prudent, to pack into our cars, we do hope, it's a wish, it's not a certainty, but we think and we hope that we'll be able to live stream this as well. So folks will at least have audio, if not visual, maybe both, at home so that you can worship along with us. I know that it pales in comparison to the joy of our normal life of worshiping the Lord together. With each other present in the same room. And while that is delayed, this is as close as we can get to that. And my hope and my expectation is that our process of kind of loving our neighbor by staying home, our desire to protect our neighbors from the spread of a potentially dangerous disease, is a reminder of us of how sweet it is for the people of God to assemble, how sweet it is for the body of Christ in a local church to be present with one another. And I imagine it'll be a long time before we take that joy for granted. And so this is my video giving us the rules. What's rule number 1 again? Stay in your car. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I think you guys have learned this rule. And I remind you, 4 o'clock, be there or be square.